Hey guys, how's it going? This is StarcraftCove here with another personal 1v1 replay for you. This is one that I just played about 15 minutes ago actually, and it was a pretty high pressure, intense game, so I figured I just want to go ahead and cast it immediately and throw it up on my channel just because it would be a pretty quick, nice, easy turnaround one for you guys. And then I do have plans to cast the finals actually of the MLG down in Dallas the last weekend. That's going to be between Liquid Jinro and some guy named TT1. I'm probably going to do a little bit more research on that, the latter guy there, because I'm not really familiar with him. I know Jinro fairly well from just seeing a bunch of his replays, but yep, anyway, just getting underway with this game. I'm going to be the blue Zerg up here in the top right on Blistering Sands, and my opponent, rank 6 on the 1v1 Diamond ladder. His name is JamesK. So, just going to be getting underway. I'll bring up the production tab for you guys. So, nothing too crazy coming out yet. Oh wow, I forgot to set myself as... The one time I forget to set myself as away. Well, anytime recently at least. There it is. Busy. Hopefully she doesn't mind. Alright. So anyway, sorry about that. So yep, I'm sitting here waiting on 14 supply to put up my first structure, whether it'll be this spawning pool or fast hatchery against Terran. So I do have my scouting drone in here, and I wasn't really sure what was going on here because this barracks was unusually placed because, you know, usually Terran players will wall in any small ramp like this one against a Zerg player, but he placed it a bit further back, which kind of threw me off there for a bit, so I was like, am I getting some proxy cheese here or what? But so JamesK is going to be bringing in his SCV to scout out my base as well, just passing it back and forth, and look at that. Yeah, I think I just switched my camera right back over there to the drone just right in time. Let's follow him for a sec, since he had exactly one hit point after that SCV did a little bit of work on him. So he's just going to be heading back, doing whatever, doing his thing. Let's see here. He managed to do a whole entire 32 points of damage on that supply depot. Pretty badass. So JamesK is going to be throwing down an immediate tech lab, which unfortunately I was not able to scout out since I was rejected by that SCV. And yeah, just completely foregoing any initial Marines out of that barracks before throwing down an add-on, either the tech lab or the reactor. But obviously, as you saw, it was the tech lab, which can either be immediately out of it. Actually, like I was just about to mention, he starts producing a Reaper. So you don't really see Reapers too much. I guess, yeah, especially not too much in TVZ. I guess TVZ they'd still be more common, especially on a map like this where you have kind of this. You have a lot of ground to abuse here with the Reaper. It's not the best map for Reapers, but I mean, if this Overlord is here, it's not too hard to scout coming in. But still, you have a lot of room to hop down these cliffs right here, especially over in this area. So my Zerglings are going to be running right past the Reaper. I'm sure they were within sight range, but just did not catch them for some reason. I guess didn't notice that on my minimap. So. And this is kind of bad timing too, because right when he's coming into my base, my queen starts heading down to my expansion. But luckily my second queen popped out of the hatchery immediately, and I usually don't do one queen straight into another queen, but luckily I did this game, which worked out really well for me. Cat, get down! My cat is on top of my computer tower. Get down, cat! Alright, sorry guys. So anyway, that queen so far warding away the Reaper. The Reaper not getting any kills yet. And these two Zerglings just spawned right at the perfect time and going to be able to pincer him with the queen and the two Zerglings. So that felt pretty sweet. I was pretty proud of myself right there. But anyway, should probably do a little catch up here. I did get that spawning pool at 14 and then an extractor pretty soon after that, because when I didn't see that barracks right here, normally against Terran I would do a fast hatchery. But, you know, straight just 14 hatchery, 14 or 15 hatch. But I wasn't sure that this barracks was here anywhere in his base to start. So I was feeling a little bit more cautious, so I threw down the spawning pool first. And then closer to probably 16 or 17 or 18 supply, I did go for the natural expansion hatchery as well. So I'm going to be using these Zerglings to start breaking down these rocks. This is always a great thing. Obviously, he can tell if he looks over here from the vision of his supply depot. He can definitely see what's going on with those rocks. But I just sent a sacrificial Zergling in here to see exactly what his army was looking like, and I felt confident enough that he had so many Marauders that I should just start producing enough wings to counteract that. So I did have 16 Zerglings in production right there just a second ago, and I'm pretty confident that my macro, my income is pretty good compared to his right now, since I did have that. Let's just follow this Marauder because he's kind of a cool little dude. He's got his swagger going. Oh, I should never use that word ever again. But yeah, I felt pretty good about my income because I did see that he obviously had no expansion down first, and I got mine pretty well. So I did kind of screw up my micro here, as you can tell. I'm not the best with Zergling micro. I should have gotten the surround, and the biggest reason that you need to get a surround on these Terran forces is because they can just continuously shoot and then take like 2 steps away, shoot and take 2 steps away. And I also should not have brought these Zerglings out here, because I knew that they were gonna melt away immediately, but I really should have kept them back in here and waited for him to come back onto the creep. So I realized that I'm not gonna have enough forces to deal with his attack here. So I wait for some additional Zergling reinforcements, and I see these 4 or 6 Zerglings popping out here, and I use them. I could be bringing down some more of my Zerglings, but this is kind of intensive micro down here, so I didn't quite realize that I had those stocked up there as well. So anyway, I was able to get away 3 of these drones that were down here, and I think I had like, I don't know, 6 down there. I didn't really have too many to begin with, so I didn't lose too many drones down there, just lost a lot of mining time. And if we look at the units lost so far, yeah, since I have just been producing Zerglings, which are, if they can actually take out the forces that they need to, then they are pretty cost effective, especially against all those Marauders. When you get the surround on those Marauders and they just can't move, the Zerglings actually take them down pretty quickly, since the Marauders just have such a slow rate of fire with that concussive shell. So I'm starting to, expand my creep out here so I can get my Zerglings going a bit faster. And what I really should have done after, is I was obviously in a very strong position right here. After that, I was able to counteract that push and take out his reinforcing troops. I really should have just run straight up here into his base, because I mean, he even took off SCVs, and I could have easily picked those off, because when I was running across the map to go over to his base, he only had like maybe 2 Marines and a Marauder there, along with his SCVs. So I probably wouldn't have been able to take all those out, but I at least would have been able to take out a good handful of the SCVs, which is always a great hit to be able to do that economic damage. So I know that he's going to be approaching over here. I do have this watchtower. I've had these watchtowers giving me sight of most of the map for a good deal of the game. So I do have mutas on the field now, because I've seen that he's been going pretty Marauder heavy, and Banelings don't always do the best job. And let me just see, because I love seeing this Baneling all over the place. Okay, so he micros away, and what I'm doing with my Banelings, instead of just moving them in there, is I'm just moving them. So I grab my Banelings and I just like right click over here on the opposite end of the infantry forces, because Banelings still do, I believe it's that they do as much damage just when they explode due to death as they do when I do lose a mutalisk right there, kind of needlessly. But Banelings do just as much damage when they die as when you have them move into something. So really, if you just tell them to move over to the other side of the troops, a lot of times they'll get they'll really get in the pocket of those troops, so you can get them to do a whole lot more area damage, which is pretty awesome if you ask me. So Banelings can really be pretty intense micro, but if you get them really well, especially against these types of forces, you gotta really try to force them back behind the front line of Marauders, which is what a lot of Terran players will do, is that they'll put their Marauders in front of their Marines, which is what they should do against Banelings. But if you can get them back into the meaty goodness of the Marines, then those just will melt away pretty much immediately. So let's see here. So I do know that I have these mutas on the field now, and I can take advantage of this. But what I didn't realize is that he's just gonna pull all of his SCVs and go for an all-in attack now. And he has been kind of doing this throughout the game. He's been adding SCVs to his attack to just really beef up his forces and take some of the blows, so his actual attacking forces, his Marines and Marauders, can do more damage. But this was a pretty stupid move. I mean, I really shouldn't be back here wasting shots. I should either be killing the spawn that's coming out of these, or I should be back here reinforcing my Zerglings and Banelings. But I'm just now pulling them off. And here we go. These Banelings pop out at just the right time. And again, I'm doing that, the move command instead of the attack move with those Banelings. So they get behind the SCVs. They don't just immediately explode on the SCVs. And instead they go back and aim for those Marines. And meanwhile, I have this, I'm pretty comfortable position, and he GG's. He realizes that I have enough Mutalisks now that I'll be able to take out any of his reinforcing Marines and Marauders. Obviously Marauders, because they can't attack air. So yeah, I just felt like that was a pretty intense, good game. I was kind of against the ropes for a lot of it, especially when I lost my early batch of Zerglings with that poor micro. Couldn't get the surround on his stimmed infantry. But I was able to come away with the win, and we GG'd, and I talked to the guy a little bit more after the game, and he said that it would be alright if I cast this. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to give it the thumbs up, comment, subscribe, always appreciated. So yeah, have a good one. This is StarcraftCove, and I'm out. Later, guys. Those MLG games should be up. A couple of them probably tonight, actually. So keep an eye out for those. Later.